Now, this is one of those cards that I never really hear anyone talking about, but for me, I've had this card for about 2.5 years now, and it's just silently sitting there in the shadows, putting in some serious work. This is the US Bank Cash Plus, and it's gotten me over $500 in cash back over the past 2.5 years with practically no effort. So let's talk about this card. We're going to cover the pros, the cons, and whether or not I think you should get it. And if you stick around, we're also going to talk about a card that's almost identical to this one, but maybe slightly easier to get approved for. So the most attractive thing about the US Bank Cash Plus is the ability to earn 5% cash back in not only one category, but 2 categories of your choosing. Now, you'll have the option to pick between 12 different 5% categories, making this card super versatile for a wide range of people. You're also going to have the opportunity to pick one of 3 2% cashback categories, and these categories are restaurants, grocery stores, and gas and EV charging stations. However, there's plenty of other credit card options that are going to get you more than 2% back in these categories, so make sure to check out my other videos for those. And with the US Bank Cash Plus, all non-category spend is going to earn 1% cash back. Pretty standard. And while this card has no annual fee, it does have 3% foreign transaction fees. Now, US Bank does put a $2,000 spend cap on the combined 5% cashback categories. But personally, I haven't run into an issue with needing more than this for the categories that I use. Now, the goal with this card is to pick the 2 categories that you spend the most in order to squeeze the most value out of that 5% back, without going over the spend limit, of course. So let's dive into the meat and potatoes of this card and talk about the elevated cashback categories that you can choose from. The first 5% cashback category is TV, internet, and streaming services. Pretty straightforward here, but US Bank does stipulate that if you're paying for things in this category through third-party services like PayPal, Google Play, Amazon, or iTunes Store, those particular purchases may not qualify for the 5% back. So it's really meant to be for direct payments to the service provider. Next, we have fast food. So if you're a foodie like me and you can't pass by a McDonald's without making a detour through the drive-thru, this may be a phenomenal category for you. We want to be mindful that this fast food category does not include full service restaurants. And we can see that US Bank is making a pretty clear distinction here, as they do have a completely separate restaurants category, which is one of the 2% cashback options with this card. It's pretty common to see credit cards offer a blanket dining category, and I do wish this was the case for this card as well, but what can you do? US Bank also stipulates that fast food restaurants located within other businesses, such as gas stations, discount stores, casinos, sports venues, and so on, may not qualify for the 5% back, so keep that in mind. Next, we have cell phone providers. And this is going to be for making purchases as well as bill payments directly to companies like Verizon, AT&T Wireless, T-Mobile, Xfinity Mobile, and so on. US Bank does make sure to mention that this does not include cell phone or accessory purchases from stores other than cell phone providers. So if you purchase a phone from Best Buy or Target, you won't be getting that 5% back. Now, 5% cash back on your cell phone bill is nice, but since a Cash Plus does not include cell phone insurance, you'll have to weigh your options before deciding whether you want to use this card for this category. Next up are department stores. So these are going to be your Macy's, Kohl's, Sears, and so on.
Hey, Lois, how about we try Sears? They got good stuff.
You can see the examples that US Bank has given us here, but they do mention a couple of interesting things. They mention that most online purchases from department store merchants also qualify, but some don't, like Sears.com, for example. They also note that discount stores like Walmart, Target, and Costco do not qualify. So you may want to test out a small purchase at your favorite department store in order to ensure that it's actually So you may want to test out a small purchase at your favorite department store to ensure that it's actually coding as a department store, especially if you're planning to make purchases on their website. Now, this is one of the categories I personally use, and that's home utilities. This category includes things like gas, electricity, waste management, and water, but does not include internet/cable/telecom service providers, cell phone services, or security system services. But remember, this card has separate 5% categories for some of these exclusions, which we just covered. And US Bank does mention the fact that some utility providers charge a convenience fee for using a credit card to pay your bill. In my case, my gas and electric bill are combined, and they do charge a $3.50 fee for each credit card payment. So what I do in order to maximize the cash back I get from this category is I prepay my bill every 4 months. My gas and electric bill comes out to right around $310 per month, so each credit card payment I make is about $1,240. This means I'm getting about $62 in cash back, minus that $3.50 $3.50 fee, which comes out to right around 4.7% in effective cash back. Now, if I paid my bill on a monthly basis, I'd be getting $15.50 in cash back each month, minus the $3.50 fee, leaves me with 3.87% in effective cash back. So, moral of the story, if you plan to use the Cash Plus card for your utility bill, make sure to check with your utility company to see if they charge a convenience fee for using a credit card. Next is select clothing stores, and this category is black and white. It only includes the clothing stores that US Bank has listed, which gives you 13 options to choose from. Not a whole lot to say about this one. You either shop at these stores or you don't. Now we have the electronic stores category. And US Bank does give some examples of some popular ones, such as Best Buy, Fry's, and Newegg. However, this is a category you may have to test out for yourself, especially if you're shopping online. US Bank notes that this will include most online purchases from electronic store merchants, but will not include purchases from telecom companies or discount stores. So if you buy electronics from Verizon or Target, this 5% category will not include those purchases. Sporting goods stores is up next, and this is going to include stores like REI, Bass Pro Shops, Backcountry.com, Cabela's, and so on. US Bank notes that there are some exceptions to this category, such as Cabela's.com, so you'll want to make a test purchase, particularly if you're shopping at an online sporting goods store. Next up is movie theaters, your AMC, Fandango.com, Regal Cinemas, and so forth. The only real exclusion that US Bank is pointing out here is that video and DVD rentals such as Redbox, online movie purchases, and live theatrical performances will not qualify for the 5% back. However, this seems like common sense. I think we all have a pretty good idea of what is and what is not a movie theater. Gym/fitness centers is up next, and this is the second category I personally use. This category is really meant to encompass membership fees at sporting and recreational facilities. US Bank notes that purchases at recreational facilities that do not require membership, such as golf driving ranges, baseball batting cages, and ski slopes, do not qualify. Also, any additional charges on top of your gym membership fee may not be included. Overall, this is going to be a nice category, particularly if you have a pricey gym membership. But you want to make sure your gym does not charge a credit card processing fee. Next up, furniture stores. IKEA, anyone? US Bank gives quite a few example merchants here, and they do stipulate that this category does not include stores like Walmart, Target, or Sears. This can be a nice category, but it is one that you may risk going over that $2,000 spend cap because, as we all know, furniture can be quite expensive. Ground transportation is next, and if you live in a city, this can be an excellent choice. A few examples US Bank gives is Lyft, Uber, Amtrak, NYC Taxi, Greyhound, and so on. They do stipulate that this category does not include purchases made through travel agencies or tour operators. It also does not include purchases made at steamships, cruise lines, freight trains, parking meters, parking garages, and toll stations. It would have been nice to see parking and tolls included in this category, but now, with these 5% categories, US Bank does require you to activate them every quarter. I personally wish they just rolled over from quarter to quarter unless I opted to change them, but at least the process isn't too much of a hassle. And you can also sign up to get reminder emails or text messages to make sure that you don't forget to activate your categories. They do stipulate that you'll start earning the elevated cashback 3 business days after activation, so just make sure you activate them before the quarter begins. Now, you can also get 5% back when you use your Cash Plus card to purchase air, hotel rooms, and car rentals through US Bank's Travel Reward Center. And this is completely separate from the 2 5% categories that you pick, so it's a nice touch. I don't personally have any experience booking travel through this portal, but if you do, definitely share your experience down below. One thing we must be mindful of when talking about all this cash back is that your cash back will expire at the end of the calendar month, 36 months after the billing cycle in which they were earned. So definitely do not hoard your cash back with this card because it only lasts for 3 years. You'll be able to redeem your cash back for a few different things. My favorite being a statement credit, which has a $25 minimum to redeem. You can also redeem your cash back into a US Bank deposit account or for a US Bank rewards card, both of which also have a $25 minimum. Alternatively, you can use your rewards to shop on Amazon or pay with PayPal. And then there's real-time rewards, which can be applied to your purchases as you make them. And this method has a $10 minimum. So this card also comes with cashback deals at select retailers, which change all the time. And on the screen, you can see the ones that are currently available to me. This is gonna be hit or miss, depending on whether you actually shop at these places. I personally never used any of them, but if you see one you like, make sure to activate it before making your purchase. Once you do make your purchase, you should see cashback hit your account within 5 to 7 business days. Now, the welcome offer for the US Bank Cash Plus does vary from time to time. At the time of recording this video, they're offering a $200 rewards bonus after you spend $1,000 $1,000 in eligible purchases within 120 days of account opening. So that right there is like getting 20% back on your first $1,000 in spend, and if those $1,000 are in one of your 5% categories, you'd effectively be earning 25% cash back. Not too shabby. Do make sure to check the current welcome offer, as it may have changed by the time you're watching this video. Now, before we talk about an alternative to this card, let's briefly talk about some of the benefits the US Bank Cash Plus offers. Now, while this card is a Visa Signature card, it doesn't come with very many Visa Signature benefits. It does come with things like Norton LifeLock, zero liability, roadside dispatch for a flat fee, and travel and emergency assistance services. Overall, this card's protections are almost non-existent. For me, since I use this card solely for my utilities and gym membership, not a big deal. However, if you plan to use some of the shopping categories this card offers, this may be something to consider. As far as the physical card design, it looks alright. It's sporting US Bank's navy blue and red color scheme. It has some semi-reflective line accents with the US Bank logo on the upper left and the Cash Plus text on the right. This card does have an EMV chip as well as the contactless payment symbol right next to the chip. All the card numbers are located on the back of the card in white text below the signature pad and magnetic strip. And as we can see, this card comes in at a measly 5 grams. But how does it slapping? Well, it's honestly a pretty mid-slap. I'd give it a 4 out of 10, which is generous in my opinion. This thing is like the car Ryan Gosling drives in the beginning of the movie Drive. It has a real basic exterior, but where it really slaps is under the hood. But this card can be a little tough to get approved for, and US Bank is definitely a little conservative when it comes to starting credit limits. For instance, my starting limit with this card was $5,000, and I had impeccable credit when I applied. And to this day, my limit is still $5,000. Not a big deal, but certainly far more conservative than other card issuers. Now, US Bank does offer a secured version of the Cash Plus, which may be a nice option if you can't get approved for the regular version. It gets you the same amount of cash back, but it doesn't include the welcome offer. Now, there is an alternative to this card. Some say it's the cousin to the US Bank Cash Plus, and that's the Elon Max Cash Preferred card. No, not that Elon, this Elon. And this card is backed by Elon Financial, but it's actually issued by various different banks and credit unions. Dr. Credit actually has a big old list of about 75 different flavors of this card, so if the US Bank Cash Plus is a bit out of reach, definitely take a look at those. And with this Elon Max Cash Preferred card, the categories are slightly different. First of all, you can still pick 2 of the 5% categories, but the sporting goods stores, gym/fitness centers, ground transportation, movie theaters, and select clothing store categories are not included. However, in place of those categories, we have the option to either pick recreation or entertainment. But what do the recreation and entertainment categories include? Well, the recreation category essentially combines the sporting goods stores and the gym/fitness centers categories into a single category. And as for the entertainment category, this card essentially takes the movie theater category and adds things like theme parks as well as sports and performances. So while these differences in categories are slightly different between these two cards, the differences may sway your decision one way or the other. Overall, you can't go wrong with either of these cards, or even both. Why not? If you want to see how I get maximum value possible from my everyday spend, definitely check out this video. Thanks for watching. Peace.